Hi, welcome to this week's Watercolor Wednesday. Today I'm going to be painting a kind of wintry landscape. Let me show you a picture what we're going to be painting. I have not practiced this beforehand, so this could be amazing or it could be terribly wrong. We'll just have to wait and see. So periodically I'll show this picture just to see where we're at. I've got the picture over here too, so I can look at that, but just wanted you to see what we were working with, and we're going to go from there. So I've got my squeaky chair. I've got my Arches cold press paper, and then I've got my size 12 round brush, my size 6, and my size 0. I tend to reach for these the most. And then just a variety of paint. Let me show that picture one more time, just in case you missed it. So this is what we're going to be painting today. And it could be awesome or it could be terrible. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm still learning when it comes to landscapes. They are really fun, but also a little bit tricky sometimes. So I'm just getting my palette wet. I don't really want this green color, but I also don't mind it. So a lot of water, and then I'm just going to get a little touch of this neutral tint and a little bit of my phthalo blue green shade. That was kind of a lot. I want this really watered down. And I don't mind the green in there, so I'll just leave it. But we're just going to start by filling out this sky. I'm changing up the color slightly just so it has a little bit more interest. I tend to like that. And then it gets a little bit lighter as it comes down. So I'll just add water. I got this photo from Unsplash. And the artist, let's see if I can find her name. I believe it's Abigail. Let me check really quick. Abigail Lynn on Unsplash. So now I've got the sky kind of in place, and I'm just going to let it do its thing. And let me show you again. So we've got that mountain in the background, and then we've got the trees and the lake. So I think I'm actually going to paint the lake first, and then we'll kind of come back and work on the rest. So this lake is a little more on the blue side, but not too blue. I don't want to go crazy. You can always start lighter and then add more, but you can't start darker and go lighter. Not easily. Okay, so I'm adding this in. I'm just kind of blocking this out. And then there are some kind of shadows of trees over here too. So I'm just going to go in with my neutral tint. This used to be Payne's Gray in its spot, and I accidentally refilled with neutral tint, but that's okay. I'm just going to touch some of this along the top here. And we'll leave it right there and just let it do its thing. So now I'm going to head back toward where we're doing these mountains, and they're kind of a bluish greenish gray. And my sky is still wet, but that's okay. Just going to kind of fill that space in. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is all of the trees here in the front. And I've actually got, let's see, I'll show you this. I've got this mountain. Well, it's kind of like a hill off to the right over here that kind of comes into the lake. So I'll paint that in, and then we'll add our trees. I know it doesn't look like much right now. So I've got neutral tint, and I've got this brown color. And then adding in some water too. And I'm getting these nice blends because I'm using Arches paper, and this paper is the best because it really allows you to be able to add things like this and it blends together, or you can wait till it's completely dry and you can get that hard edge, which once this dries, we'll kind of go back in and add a little bit of detail. Just going to kind of define that edge again, where I want those trees to go. Like I said, I have not practiced this beforehand. Sometimes when I am nervous about something, I'll practice it, and then I'm like, okay, I won't make that mistake this time, and I can explain what I'm doing. But in this case, you're kind of watching me work things out in real time because I haven't practiced it, which has its pros and cons, I guess. Okay, now I'm going back to that neutral tint. It's really just like a deep grayish purple almost. Not a ton of blue in there. So that's why I'm adding in a little bit of phthalo blue green shade. I'm trying to get that deep dark green color for the trees. And I'm going to add in Perylene green. So I've got this green going on, but then I'm going to add in a little bit of red. And that's just going to offset any bright green that's happening. I don't want it to look super green. It's hard to see. Really hard to see with that glare. But I'm just blocking this area out now. All right, I know it's looking a little crazy. Hopefully it'll all start looking like the picture soon. And if not, that's okay too. Okay, so now while this is kind of drying, I'm going to go back here and just kind of block out some of the mountain shadow right here. All right. It's kind of tricky to keep going on when the painting is still pretty wet, and so I'm just going to let it dry for a minute while I mix this deep green again. So I've got the red and this deep perylene green. Move my brushes out of the way. I'm going to add in black. I don't normally use black in a mixture like this, but I want these to be pretty dark. And part of what will help this look really dark is if I wait for this to dry completely, and then I can kind of go back in and add those details. So this is kind of what we're going for here. Let me show you one more time. We're getting there. Just plug away a little bit at a time. So we did the sky, that's all done. We've blocked out the tree area for the most part. We still need to add a couple down here. We've got the water with the shadows, and then this little mountain area, which once this dries, I can go back in and add a few more details. But now I've got this, let's see, up here, still pretty wet. Still pretty wet over here too. So I think I'll just start down here. I'm just going to kind of paint in some of these trees. Just using the side of my brush. Now I should probably switch to my smaller brush for some of these details, but I'll just run with this for now. I am going to switch. It's hard to get those tiny details with a big brush. If you hear my baby crying, it's because he is supposed to be taking a nap. And he just finished his bottle and has realized he's down for a nap. I want these trees to be really dark. I think this is a good lesson in just trusting the process. Because I'm not going to lie, for a second there, I was worried that this was just not coming together. But I think now it is starting to come together, and I'm happy that we stuck with it. I had someone ask me today what my plans were for the day, if I was working. And I told them I was teaching a watercolor. I do a watercolor Wednesday is what I explained. And I said that I paint live every week. And he was like, "Oh, so you're like Bob Ross." I'm like, "Yep, basically just Bob Ross over here, painting happy little trees." That made me happy. So this is I'm just painting that so I can see where it is. I've got a couple little trees down here. All right, I think that's pretty much done. So let's take a look again at, I'm gonna add this one more tree. So there's our picture, and there's the painting. So there you go. I might add just a couple, let's see. I'll go back to my kind of greenish gray up here and just kind of define the edge of those mountains. I'll make sure that the whole video is up on YouTube, and so you can watch the replay. Thanks again for watching. Oh, and don't forget about the watercolor workshop tomorrow. I'm painting a poinsettia bouquet, so if you want to join, I have a link in the description box below, so you can sign up for that. All right, thanks again for watching. Bye.